So I'm doing my rants. You know how I gotta have my videos. They're getting uh my last video had got 20 million views. And you're probably gonna go to it and you're gonna be like, where's the 20 million views? Actually, I lied. But I'm a cheerleader. Like, girl, am I really gay? Now that I'm done being disgusted, I wanted to talk about Pride Month. I'm in my suburbs right now. As you can tell, you can hear the birds. I'm in my suburbs, right? There's a lot of straight people around here. So I'm gonna try to lower my tone because if I talk about Pride Month too much, the children will have to be put into the basement. The parents will have to lock the doors, and everyone will have to get their torches and their fucking pitchforks. You know, there will have to be a battle because this is something that could be very dangerous. But in all seriousness, I saw a white man, and he was of the nude, and you know, I'm very insecure about my size sometimes, but after looking at I'm gonna call it a belly button that kind of went a little too far down. After looking at I decided that maybe my size isn't so bad. He was just sitting there with his thingy out. And of course, people were like, "Oh my gosh, is this what Pride is all about?" You know, every year, like clockwork. And you know, I don't like gay conservatives. I mean, it must be some humiliation kink. I don't like gay conservatives. I find them to be the bottom of the fucking barrel. I'm sorry. I mean, you don't have to agree with the community, but to sit there and align yourself with a whole political party that says they don't think that you should exist, I don't get it. I understand wanting to be different, wanting to be edgy. I understand wanting to be, you know, have a little wrestle dazzle, but even I don't have the capacity to understand why they would identify with conservatism. I don't understand as a gay person, but here we are. I also don't understand because sometimes, you know, a broken clock is right twice a day. I don't understand why we're fighting so hard to have naked people at Pride. But I saw Pride in Bangkok. I saw Pride in, I think, some other place. I don't know. And they were wearing dresses, right? You know, they showed a little something, cunt, but it's respectable type of cunt. You know, the cunt is hidden. We don't want to expose the cunt. We don't want the kids to know. But those that know that it's very much leaning forward with the cunt. When you see people in America, especially these major cities, right? Because I believe one of them was actually Folsom. And so Folsom, I don't know where the hell Folsom is, like Germany or something, I don't know. Where they're all out, they're like everything's out, they're having sex in the streets. You know, it's kink, it's a whole thing. That's cute, right? Do what you want to do. It's cute. Folsom's cute, right? You know, if you don't want to do it, fine. You know, I know a lot of people are going to be like, how dare you? Oh, clutch their pearls, right? Right. But, you know, that's an adult event, 18 plus. I really think it should be like 20 plus, but it is what it is. 18 plus. And they go out and, you know, they explore and they have sex and they do all of that crazy shit out in public. You know, nasty stuff, but that's what they want. Right? So I think the clip that I was seeing where people were like naked and they were walking in parades was Folsom. I think that's what it was. Someone said that this was a Folsom event. This was something in Folsom. This was not a Pride event. Either way, I remember last year that it was another white man. It's something about an overweight white man and his incessive need to show his wiener to the entire audience. So it was a man, right? And his dick was out. And the kids were around, and it was Pride Month. Then they asked the cops, you know, there was some random dude, and of course, you know, they don't like gays, and so this was the perfect material for them to use. And they were like, oh my gosh, do you agree with this? Are you not going to arrest this guy for being, you know, publicly indecent? And they were like, you know, look, bud, you know, look, pal. We all fuck up sometimes, okay? And, you know, they were kind of just like moving on with the day. And so he kind of, you know, he waddled his way down along and they recorded him and his dick was just going side to side, you know? Kind of like one of those inflatables that you see outside of a car dealership, just kind of just like wiggling. It had a mind of its own, right? Okay, surely most of the community is going to be like, this is awful. There was a good amount of people that were like, well, yeah, this is bad, but people are acting like straight people also don't do this. Now, y'all, I understand resentment towards heterosexuals. I do. I get it. hetero pessimism without being hetero yourself. I understand this incessant need, or this feeling, this instinctual feeling of not really wanting to align yourself with heterosexuals. I'm not wanting to agree with them. This nagging feeling of wanting to isolate yourself away from them, because a lot of them are hypocrites and a lot of them do lie about their own sexual deviant behavior, and a lot of them do use religion to justify their bigotry. A lot of them do use a lot of different things that they themselves do not follow, to uphold this particular type of hierarchy of queer people at the bottom and straight people at the top, right? And so there's a lot of issues and a lot of different things where there are a lot of over sexualization from heterosexuals, and even more so, I would argue that there would be a specific type of anger from over sexualization coming from women, while there's also a prioritization of, I guess, from alpha males saying that men should be hypersexual because that'll somehow authenticate their manliness, but if women do it, that'll somehow de-authenticate their womanhood. And so it's all this other stuff in this patriarchy and traditionalism and all this other shit that we constantly use because we don't know what the fuck we're doing. I understand having trauma, having annoyance, and seeing the hypocrisy in real time, seeing it in real fucking time, as we all probably have or known someone who has, and being like, this is actually crazy. The cognitive dissonance, the tendency to not even witness the fact that you're doing the very thing that you're shitting on me for doing. I understand. I say all this to say, though, that even though we have every right to feel some type of way, we have every right to be angry, every right to be annoyed at this need, the audacity that comes from a lot of heterosexuals, I don't think we should let the resentment get to a certain point where we're justifying people having their wieners out at a pride event. I don't think that we should have so much anger and vitriol that we start to almost green light certain behaviors that shouldn't be greenlit. I don't think that it should just be conservative gays who say this shit. I think that, there should be people who are actually trying to say, hey, maybe we should, change that up. Maybe we shouldn't have naked people out there, right? I'm not gonna go around and be like, oh my gosh, I hate being gay. I hate being queer. I'm like, okay, girl, calm down. Codes that be going online doing that shit saying, I hate being gay. Oh my gosh, this is ruining my gayness. Oh my gosh, I don't even want to be part of the LGBTQ community. I'm like, girl, calm down, girl, calm down. They act like it's the end of the world. They act like the sky is falling. I said, girl, now you knew there was crazy bitches in every community. Come on, baby. You already knew that there's some crazy fools out there who are perverts in every single community. So I don't know why you're acting like a pervert now and somehow gonna be, I don't even want to associate. Calm down. This is a very simple thing. We need to have people who organize these particular events to be a little bit more strict with how they want to do dress codes. And if bitches get mad, go to Folsom. Go to a gay cruise. Go to a sex party. Go to these orgies that they be having. Go to all of these other events that they be having where they get down, they get freaky, they do whatever they do. Freaky, deaky, deaky, freaky, deaky, deaky, freaky, deaky, deaky. Do whatever you want. Do that. And then, we can move on. But to sit here and be like, oh my gosh, the world is ending. Oh my gosh. You know what? We should just scrap Pride altogether. Pride Month should be scraped from existence. No more Pride Month. Girl, calm the fuck down. Just do a dress code. And if someone doesn't want to do dress code, they want to have their coochie out, their boosie, and you will not make it to the next season of America's Top Pride. Get them out of here. And there would be bitches, they'll be online, be like, oh my gosh, that's so wrong. Oh my gosh, that's not inclusive. As if, everything inside the gay community is inclusive. Like, girl, come on now. It's not even fully inclusive in the straight community, let alone the fucking gay community. Like, let's be real. This host already sat there and repurposed that one meme talking about, I don't like skinny guys who are jacked with big D's. I like dudes with a pot belly who has a medium D. I'm like, girl, no you don't, girl. All your likes is either of a twink or a man who looks like he could be your fucking father. A father in a way that, he's built like a Greek god or he's built like a bodybuilder or something. Let me clarify. So calm down, like, girl, it's the same type of audacity where we go around and we have amnesia every single year. Just find a way to prioritize other types of fashion. You could go and make it a fashion show. You could make it something like how they do in Brazil. And yeah, yeah, they kind of they kind of freaky diggy 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 freaky diggy diggy diggy. They kind of freaky in Brazil. They kind of gyrate and do a lot of stuff in Brazil. They got their ass out in Brazil, so maybe not Brazil, right? I also have to think about it because I'm trying to both sides it, right? America's very conservative, right? That's why the conservatives are having a stroke now, because too much pride in black people and gay people. You know, there's a lot of people having a fucking stroke and a seizure seeing some gay person on TV. I'm like, girl, calm the fuck down. We still have, you know, our own TV. You can look at your own shit. It's going to be okay, baby. I swear to God. There's not going to be an eradication of conservatism, of tradition, because the girls don't know what to do without it. It is quite literally ingrained at the foundation of this country. You cannot get rid of that over even a couple of decades. That's something that almost feels like it takes a fucking century to get rid of, 100 plus years to get rid of, just because of just how excessively annoying and tiresome the politics are in America, right? And I had to realize that, right? We can't even have sex ed. The girls can't even know about sex. Oh my gosh, my child, I don't want him to know about sex. He knows about sex already. I'm telling you, I'm not in teenagers' business, but when I was a teenager, I'm taking from personal experience. Baby, we knew about shit, or we knew more about sex, or we were starting to understand sex in fucking middle school. The girlies are going around talking about, oh my gosh, the world is more over-sexualized. Oh my gosh, the world is crazy, when they were sitting there jacking off to porn mags back in the day. I noticed in this country specifically, there's this weird struggle with sex in general, even when it's heterosexual. There's this weird struggle and this weird relationship with sexuality. I never really understood what was going on in this country when they wanted to sit there and say, okay, we want people to be sexually aware, but also demonize every single thing. Even when we're talking about the nude body in the media, right? Those films, they don't even see it the same as you would see it in other countries. Now, I'm not saying they don't also be pornographic and do sexual stuff. Obviously, they do. But even then, it's still the certain perception of nudity is not just that. Like, it does have that. That's very much existing within that particular realm. But that is not the only thing that it is. You have nudity, you have different things like that. Maybe you could be like pretentious and be in certain art circles, and you could be like, oh my gosh, I'm so different because I looked at like a statue with someone's dick out, and I'm someone who doesn't get turned on by it. You know, at least I don't say it out loud. You know, I'm so different, right? And you can sit there and kind of, you know, feel special in that sense. But for the most part, you know, the average person, the American politics or the American culture, I'll say, there's this particular type of idea of just nudity, being scared of the body. With the help of one of the biggest power dynamics in this country, unlike other countries where you identify as Christian and that could be, you know, bad for you. You could get killed. Still doing that in other countries. It's very scary. It's very dangerous. We don't have that in America. And on the dollar bill, it says, "In God we trust." Right? And so at the forefront, woven within politics, which unfortunately is also a very big thing within this country, has become even more vitriolic within this country. You have this prioritization of Christianity. And I remember seeing something online where there was this critique, and they've always had debates like this, right, where they say, actually, Christianity is not patriarchal, which I'm like, okay. And Jesus, better yet, wasn't patriarchal, which that makes a little bit more sense. I would say that Christianity, the religion itself, is patriarchal. The religion itself is very much woven within conservatism, and a lot of different people decided to put upon their own particular beliefs and ideas to manifest this particular type of ideal, that, oh, God would only want men to do this and women to do this, and it says do that, and then we all live happily ever after, right? And of course, with the billions upon billions upon billions of people on one particular tiny ass rock in the space, you already know, I mean, we're in space right now. It may be sunny, but we're in space. You would think that people would have common sense to understand that you cannot get everybody to act one way. That's just not how we are. And so I say all that to say, I understand, again, talking about what I said earlier, there being a lack of genuine understanding, or there being a sense of hypocrisy coming from heterosexuals, and how there is this overwhelming sense of taboo still with sexuality, which only leads to this festering sense of porn addicts and pornography and the sex workers constantly having, you know, work to do sex. And this will always happen when you constantly have certain types of power dynamics within society that says it's bad for you to get a boner and it's bad for you as a woman to use a vibrator, and they make it seem like it's a no-no for you to have any sense of sexuality. Like, it's either I'm starting to notice we don't have a balance, is what I'm trying to say. It's either you go around and you have this over excessive need to have sex and this over excessive needs, and you're just out here and you're like, I'm going to be a whore, I'm not going to have romance, I'm going to give my body to everyone, I'm not going to do it. Or you're metaphorically hoping, right, castrating yourself, or you're damn near putting chemicals in your body to make sure that you don't, you know, become human and have natural human moments, right, where you like get hard, or you like, what is it for women, you know, I'm a queer, like ovulate, yeah. You don't have all of those particular type of things that happen, because that's a no-no, and God wouldn't want it. God wouldn't want it. And you have this particular group who also, you know, the same ones that go around and say, oh my gosh, I hate gay people, and oh my gosh, gay people are pedophiles. And then, okay, there's, you know, not saying all of them are pedophiles, but there goes a pedophile, and there goes a gay person, and oh, got exposed for sitting there going to an orgy of all things. You didn't even want to do a one-on-one. You said, I'm going to indulge in multiple bodies in one night, one sitting. And so it's that particular type of hypocrisy where you say there's not a natural, I don't understand how we can change our connection with sex. Right. The only thing that I've seen within the church is that people will go around and they would say, I guess this gags people. It doesn't really gag me. I don't even think the congregation is really gagged. But, you know, the pastor will be like a younger pastor, maybe late 20s, early 30s, and he'll be like, I used to be a porn addict. And people will be like, bitch, that's like telling a teenager and youth counselor and being like, I used to be suicidal. It's like, okay, bitch. Like, the girls are not gagged anymore. Like, girl, who hasn't known somebody at least, or heard stories of somebody being young who's been suicidal? Like, girl, you're not gagging me with that one. And so it's the same type of thing where you have the attempts of being more open about sexuality, being more open about different things within the church realm. But it hasn't really moved. The evangelicals are still acting stupid. The Mormons, I don't know her. The Jehovah's Witnesses, girl, let them celebrate Christmas. Like, I can't sit there and take any of the girlies serious because they're not being serious themselves. I say all this to say that even though I have an issue with our perception of sex and our perception of sexuality and the insincerity coming from certain groups of people where they say certain things, a list, right? You have to follow this list if you want to be an acceptable gay. And even then, they'll still call you faggot. And even then, they'll still sit there and say you're a tranny. And even then, they'll still sit there and leave you out to dry. And even then, they'll sit there and still stab you in the back. And even then, they'll still sit there and do certain things to get monetary gain, and it'll be at the expense of your livelihood, of your humanity. But you're different. You know, you're not like the other faggots. You're very much more acceptable. And it's like, no, girl, wake the fuck up. When it comes to naked people at Pride, I don't understand why the girlies are going around and they're feeling the need to have their shit out. I'm just gonna let me hold my dick out. I don't get it. Why are you going out of your way to have your penis out? Why? Why do you have to be in underwear at Pride Month? Oh, well, it's kink. It's kink. You're kink shaming. Don't you know that the history of the LGBTQ community has kink in it? Don't you know that the history of the LGBTQ community has sex in it? Yes, babe, I do know. Why do we need to have people out there with their bodies out? Like, you don't have to have that. We could protest in many different ways. Go off in any way you want. Just being on social media and having different types of influencers who are trans, who are gay, who are going out promoting that particular type of lifestyle, that's protest in itself, right? It doesn't take much to gag the straights. Just breathing sometimes makes people feel self-conscious, makes them, oh God, what's going on? The sky is falling, as I said, right? At the end of the day, I just don't understand why we needed to have that. I said, what's wrong with the dress code? What's wrong with the dress code? What's wrong with doing that? I don't understand how that's something so detrimental to the LGBTQ community. We're giving in to what they want. Guys, you can still have sex. You can still go out and have sex. You can still go out and fool with people. You can still go out and do dirty shit with people. You can still do that if you want to, respectfully, legally. Naturally, even the kinkiest person, naturally, there has to be some type of limit. Like, why we have to go out and be naked? I said even a debate for the dress code. Like, girl, come on. You maybe, yes, if you want to show the accentuate, if that's the right terminology, the right verbiage. If you want to accentuate, the leggings, and you want to show the muscles, you want to show the ass, do what you got to do. But at the same time, there's respectable ways of doing that shit. We can curate something and make it better. Okay? You can still go out and have sex. You can. That's the thumbnail.